So let's start with 2020, with 2015, when Donald J. Trump comes down the Golden Escalator. And then he declared his run for the presidency of the United States, which is when the left went into full panic mode.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States.
Obama made comments about his candidacy being a joke. One by one, Donald J. Trump dispatched his opponents in the primaries. And this was the beginning of the mandate that the good citizens of the United States gave to Donald Trump to overhaul Washington, D.C. He then ran against Hillary, right, who called us a basket of deplorables.
You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
And Donald J. Trump won. They lost their minds. There was the screaming in the streets.
What a great honor to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere the 45th President of the United States of America, Donald.
Tap on the shoulder. You adjust the microphone as you're told, man.
There were the prosecutions. The lying began. Russia, Russia, Russia. Illegitimate FISA warrants were issued. And Donald J. Trump, all he wanted to do was make America great again. In that 2016 election, that's what he said. He ran on Make America Great Again, right? And that was what he looked to do. However, the left, right, they persecuted him. 2 false impeachments, obstruction at every turn, right? And he had to defend himself while trying to get things done. And that's awfully hard to do. And then came the China virus, right? We know about the China virus, as Donald Trump calls it, in COVID. And that was good luck for Biden, because then during the election in 2020, we had the Hunter Biden laptop scandal, which they said, oh no, there's 51 members of the intelligence community, 51. Those were 51 members, and I don't know who they were, who absolutely lied. Was it 51? Was it 16? Was it? They just picked out all kinds of names of people who were proven to be abject liars, right? And then Biden was protected by the media. He hid in his basement. And then thanks to COVID, America is locked down and election fraud could begin, right? We had these phony mail-in ballots. They were stuffing ballot boxes. They were carrying in boxes of ballots after closing. There was just a lot of fraud that went on. And that's when we really realized that the left is capable of doing anything, right? And then once the election of 2020 was over, we're going to talk about part 2. And part 2 is going to be the ruination of a nation, right? It's the ruination of a nation under Joe Biden, right? And they talk about shadow governments now. We'll get to that. But there was an absolute shadow government for the last 4 years, from 20 through 24, when they talk about who was running the country. There were 30-something-year-old staffers who were running the country because Biden was either asleep by 4 o'clock, or he was having ice cream, or he was on the beach in Rehoboth. He was not running the country.